それなら大丈夫だろう。ゆいちゃんに何かあったら、俺が手術して治してやるからさ。
What? Nani?
は？
My mouth hung open for a second. An operation? Is it like, like the game, Operation? Are they playing the board game? And I never played it myself, but, I always saw the commercials, where you, like, take out organs from, like, a cartoon patient. If you don't do it correctly, it'll buzz. What the hell was he talking about? Oh, yes.
Huh?
And then I realized that I could hear muffled moans next to him.
Oh, oi, Ito? 今のユイの声じゃないのか? 何やってんだ?
Oh boy. Well, okay, so either Shinji is like very evil and he was a serial killer all along, or maybe he's being mind controlled. Well, we haven't seen any evidence of him being a psychic as well, but that's what I've been thinking. Just because you're not a psychic doesn't mean you won't be controlled by the serial killer and then end up killing someone else. That I guess that might also be what's been like. That's also bleh, I can't talk. That's also what could be happening right now, is what I'm saying.
あのさ、俺いつか佐久間先生みたいな医者になろうと思ってたんだよな。知ってたか？
だから何してんだよお前。
やっぱコンビニで買ったナイフじゃ切れ味が悪いな。確かに痛いだろう、これじゃ。
おい、イト、何冗談言ってんだ。ユイを電話に出せ、おい。
宮代、お前さ、急いで持ってきてくれないか？ちゃんと切れるメスと麻酔薬。あと、骨を切るノコギリみたいなのなかったっけ？これじゃあ、ユイちゃんがかわいそうだ。
Shinji is very nonchalant about this. He hung up.
Yui!
Huh? What you should have asked? I mean, I guess Takuru's just panicking at this moment because his friend's talking like a crazy person. But you could have asked where he was. He seemed friendly even in his like insane state. Probably seeing some weird delusion. Could have asked where he was first of all, but then again, he might not have been able to answer anyway. I pushed the call button again and again with shaking fingers, but he must have turned off his phone because he didn't pick it up. My mind couldn't keep up with this. It was too much to believe.
Takuru, Yui ga douka shita no?
No, she's being cut up right now, as it turns out.
なんか悲鳴みたいなの聞こえたけど。タクル兄ちゃん。
I suddenly felt like I was about to throw up. I shoved my face into the sink and tossed everything I had in my stomach. It was like I was vomiting up hate, fear, and despair. It's Subo. And no matter how much I tried, it wouldn't stop. Did you stop vomiting and explain the situation already? I mean, it's kind of hard to find him at this point, because we don't know where he went. But at the very least, we should probably call the police. And the first thing we should do is tell Shinjo about this.
大丈夫、タクル。
When I've thrown up so much that there wasn't even any stomach fluid left, I turned around to see Kurisu behind me.
クルス、電話だ。新庄さんにとにかく電話してくれ。
Yeah, probably a good idea. There you go.
このままじゃユイが殺される。
Oh. Where in the world is Yui Tachibana? I let Kurisu handle getting in touch with Shinjo and ran out the emergency exit to the dorm.
ユイどこだ、何でもいいから声を出せユイ
Assuming Shinji isn't like a conniving villain, you know, who's lying about the whole convenience store thing, the first thing we should do is find the nearest convenience store. We should have like looked on Google Maps or something, because that's where we'll find him probably, or at least near where that would be anyway. And assuming he didn't like drive a car or something like that. I don't think he has. I don't know. Well, does he have a driver's license? Does he own a car? I don't know. Assuming he didn't get in a car, he's not probably isn't too far away. We only just like met up with Uki and Yuto, saying that Yui was walking away with Ito and everything. So they gotta be somewhere near like a convenience store. My voice echoed down the rows of houses. Some nearby reporters ran over.
どうしたの君？何かあったのかい？
さっきここから誰か出て行きませんでしたか？
え？
僕くらいの男と、あともう少し若い女の子です。知りませんか？
あの二人かな。インタビューしようとしたら無視されたけど。
どっちへ行きました？
確かあっちだと思うけど。
I ran in the direction he pointed to without stopping or looking behind me.
あの君！
I could hear them asking what happened, but I didn't have the time to tell them.
ユイ、イト、どこだ？
I ran, screaming the names of my little sister and best friend. I hurt to breathe, but I couldn't stop running. My only thoughts as I ran were of Yui's safety and Ito's strange behavior.
イト、お前なんで？どうして？
His tone had been the same as ever. It was the exact same tone he used when he was laughing about the latest weird school gossip. So why would he do that to Yui? It had to be some kind of mistake. Because Ito wouldn't.
いや、待て。
もし他に犯人がいるなら23日だって南沢千里に代わってそいつが事件を起こしたはずだろ。けど実際は何も起こらなかったってことは、この可能性は消えたってことじゃないのかな。もうやめようぜ。なんつうかさ、副部長が辛いと思うんだ俺。
僕が別の能力者の可能性を完全に排除してしまったのはあの時だ。伊藤はクリスのことを引き合いに出して僕に考える間も与えずに重大なメモを剥がして捨てた。それじゃあれはわざと？
Maybe. The more I thought about it, the more unbelievable it seemed. I mean, it could be like he's a psychopath, I don't know. Again, either that or he's also being mind controlled, you know, or something, but I don't know for sure. How long had I been running? My throat was dry and it stung. I was gasping for breath and in dire need of water. Sweat was dripping off of me, and I was so out of breath that I couldn't think.
どこだ？
I looked around and saw that I was in the residential area of Shibuya, and that reconstruction teams hadn't gone around to yet. There were still a lot of abandoned houses. Even during the day, there was little foot traffic, and there were always rumors that at night, you could see the vengeful ghosts of the people who died in the quake wandering beneath the streetlights. It wasn't that far from Alba Dorm, which meant that during my search I must have circled back without knowing it. Just as I was about to turn around and head for Miyashita Park or Hikiko Academy, I heard a faint sound. A tiny noise like tearing cloth. I thought I might have imagined it, but I forced my aching legs forward to look in the alleyway where I heard it. The lights didn't reach into the alley, so I couldn't see nothing but darkness. I could hear the sound of water going drip, drip, drip. Some house's pipe must have broken. I took another step forward into the darkness as if I was being drawn by the sound. Suddenly, there were several sharp metallic clangs at my feet. I quickly jumped back, surprised. When my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I saw that they were paring knives. Paring knives? Paring knives? And all of them were stained dark with something. Their blades bent or broken in places, probably trying to cut bone. Now, the knife I brought from the convenience store just doesn't cut that well. Yeah. I felt something cold crawl up my back as I remembered Ito's words.
おい、ユイ、いるのか?
She's probably dead. She's probably a corpse. I took another step forward. There was what I felt like a puddle of water at my feet, and I heard a splash. But there was no answer. I took another step forward. The splash got louder, and then I realized that the liquid was sticking to my shoe. I looked down and saw that it was simply fruit punch. And I saw that the shoe was stained the same dark red color as the knives.
ただの水たまりじゃない。
The wind must have changed course because the moment I had that thought, I smelled something awful. I inhaled a full breath of the stench before I could cover my nose and mouth. What's that? Are these like gifts? You know, presents? Or they look like cigarettes? I don't know. Depends on how big it is, I guess. And then I looked toward the source of the smell. And when my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I could see it. Oh, I get it. Oh, there you go. That's her face. It really is. It's like Christmas presents, you know? It was the unpleasant but somehow seductive and sweet smell of meat. Oh, there you go. I could see small boxes laid out in the rough shape of a human body. It looked like some kind of grotesque homemade doll. The dark red liquor was flowing from the boxes. I suddenly felt an urge to throw up. How long did it take me to realize that I was staring at what was left of my little sister? There you go. I was wondering when this is gonna happen. Didn't I say that someone we know is gonna get killed? And there you go. At least someone close to us anyway. Because of that, it took me a little while to notice the man further down the alley, staring at the pool of blood. Shinji, can you explain yourself? He was holding the murder weapon in his hand. It was dripping with blood. He's a zombie, okay? Ito hopped over what used to be you and spoke to me in the same pleasant tone he always used.
どうしてだって？それは俺の方の質問だよな。お前さ、なんであの時助けなかったんだ？
あの時？
なんで見捨てたんだ？
捨てたって誰よ？
彼って。そんな。あんなに苦しんでただろうが。
Okay, weird. Senri? Minamisawa Senri? Why was he saying her name? Why was Ito talking about Senri?
どうだ、自分の大切なものを失う自分は、自分の無力さを思い知りながら後悔に苛まれる自分は。
I felt nothing but confusion. What I was looking at didn't seem real. So I just stood there and stared at Ito's face, dumbstruck.
彼女は俺にとってかけがえのない存在だった。それをお前は見殺しにしたんだ。でもこれでようやく復讐に終わる。
What was the relationship between Minamisawa, Sanri, and Ito? I mean, is there a relationship or is it just being mind controlled? I don't know. I mean, the ominous dark red eyes might indicate something, but what happened between them? It didn't look like I had time to think about it. Ito's knife got steadily closer to me.
次は宮代の番だ。よく切れるメスと麻酔薬は持ってきたか。それがなきゃひどく痛くて苦しむぞ。ゆいちゃんみたいにな。
Ito smiled a murderous smile, yes, if you couldn't tell already. Perfectly white teeth, though. Oh, so that's how it's gonna be. For some reason, I lost the capacity to think clearly. That was the only thought that was left. I'm not even gonna look like a person when he's done with me. Just like Yui. The feeling overwhelmed me. All I could do was stare into Ito's bloodshot eyes. And wait for the moment of my death. Okay, that end? Or maybe not, a quick save. And then, I heard what sounded like a scream behind me. It was enough to drag me back to my senses. I looked back and saw Kurusu standing under the streetlight, her shoulders heaving up and down. Her eyes went wide. Her eyes went wide at the knife in Ito's hand. He'll kill you too. Get away from here, Kurusu. I wanted to tell her to get away, but only meaningless noises came out of my mouth. It was like my vocal cords had been paralyzed. Kurusu did the exact opposite of what I hoped she would. She ran into the alley, blocking my way out. And at the same time, she noticed the boxes filled with body parts and the stinking pool of blood. She gasped. It's my present for you. Happy birthday. She's right there, can't you see? As her face is right there. I was finally able to speak, but I couldn't answer her question. It was pathetic, but tears started to well up in my eyes. I couldn't stop them. Ito answered for me, flipping the knife from one hand to another as he spoke.
Ah, ほら、気をつけなよ、副部長。その箱を一つでも踏み潰したら、ゆいちゃんを組み立てられなくなる。
Okay. That doesn't make any sense, but alright. Kurusu jumped back and started to shake as she stared at the boxes. I mean, it's gotta be... He's insane. Like, there's no reason why he would just be a psycho at this point. It's gotta be he's being controlled by something and, he's seeing weird delusions, just like we did. She sank to her knees and reached out toward what used to be Yui, now carrying that she'd be soaked with blood. She picked up something long and thin. It had a pretty nail on it, one which had never been manicured even though its owner was old enough to be interested in makeup. It was Yui's finger, yes.
Dakara, 副部長、勝手に触らないでくれよ。ゆいちゃんが綺麗に見えるよう芸術的に詰めたんだから。どうして
全部宮代が悪いんだよ。南沢千里を苦しめたから。その復讐さ。
千里の復讐。
そうだよ。千里はもっと痛かったろう。苦しかったろう。しかも実験が辛くて死にたいと思っても死ねなかった。ゆいちゃんなんてまだ幸せだよ。こうしてすぐ死ぬことができたんだからね。
When I heard those words, something snapped inside me. The fog in my head cleared instantly and my blood started to boil. Again, Shinju's nonchalant face. It was a rage I couldn't control. The next thing I knew, I leapt at Ito with my bare hands. Oh, back to like, menacing. He pointed the knife straight at me as if he'd been waiting for this. I could tell it was pointed straight at my neck, at my carotid artery. I don't know how to say that. Carotid? Carotid? You know, the part where if you stab at it, you die. If I'd been more calm, I would have known better than to jump on him without any defenses, but now I couldn't hold back my anger. He must have thought he had me because a cruel, thin smile formed on Ito's lips. I knew I was going to die. I hoped that Kurusu at least might be able to get away. The last thought that went through my head was, if heaven was real, that was probably where Yui was going. But I knew without a doubt that I was going to hell, so I'll probably never see her again. Huh? Kurusu. But the moment of my death never came. Instead, I heard Kurusu scream. It was a violent sound, not like anything I ever heard from her before. I looked in surprise and saw that she grabbed Ito from the side and the two of them were rolling on the ground. The two of them were rolling around in Yui's blood. Yes, this is quite a bloodbath. I don't know, it's just the thought of it. I mean, it's horrific and messed up, but also hilarious. She didn't seem to hear me at all. She screamed like a wounded animal and tried to grab both of Ito's arms from behind. Her whole body was covered in Yui's blood, and each time she moved, her long hair flew up and sent dark red splashes everywhere. And by the way, aren't we? I mean, we have these special superpowers. We're not gonna use them? No? Okay. I guess we're too, like, panicking, I guess. Can't really think straight. Ito tried to shake her off and punched her in the stomach. Ow! She moaned in pain when the impact hit her, where she'd been stabbed before, but she still hung on desperately and refused to let go. I leapt on top of Ito without even thinking. I grabbed the hand with the knife and smashed it in the ground with all my might. There was a dull snap as his fingers shattered, and the knife fell to the ground. I kicked it far away. I put my full weight on Ito's back and pinned him to the ground. He was stronger than I thought, and he almost knocked me off, but I refused to let go. Should, take some deep breaths, Kurusu. Though I guess if you take a deep breath here, all you smell is blood, so probably not a good idea. But she didn't seem to be able to answer my question. She sat down on the ground and tried to catch her breath. The shock seemed to have temporarily robbed her of her ability to breathe. Big tears fell from her eyes, and when she finally caught her breath, she started to sob.
副部長。恨むんなら宮代を恨むんだな。あの時こいつが千里を見捨てていなければ、俺だってこんな事件を起こすこともなかった。なあ、宮代。それは全ての事件の元凶は宮代だったんだ。お前が追いかけてたはずのニュージェネの狂気の再来事件は、実はみんなお前を追い詰めるために俺が起こしてたんだ。
This doesn't make any sense, but alright.
そんなことも調べられないで何が情報強者だよ。すげえ滑稽だぜ宮代。
That couldn't be true. People had died because of me. If I found the truth faster, Yui wouldn't have died.
嘘。
Kurusu's voice was so soft I couldn't hear what she was saying.
ああ、クルス。
嘘よ。伊藤君の言ってることはみんなデタラメじゃない。
はあ。
Kurusu jerked her face upward without bothering to hide her tears. She stood up, enraged, and screamed into the sky.
あなたは誰？伊藤君にこんなことをさせて。どこかで私たちを嘲笑っているのは一体誰なの？
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, you know?
クルス。
Somebody's putting words.
分かってるのよ。私の大切な妹をこんな姿にしたあなたは一体誰？
Somebody's putting words into Ito's mouth. Something red dripped down off of Kurusu's skirt. Was it Yui's blood, or had Kurusu's own injury opened again?
どういうことだクルス。
伊藤君は千里のことなんて知らない。誰かにそう思い込まされてるだけ。
I was thinking about that.
何言ってんだよ。俺は大好きだった千里のために復讐を。
Well, I mean that part doesn't make any sense, but I think didn't he hear about, you know, Senri's name, or maybe not. I'm trying to remember. It's been a long time, but like, you know, at the time when we went to the basement and everything and learned about Minami Sawa Senri and everything, did he know about her? Like, at least her name? Or maybe what Kurusu's trying to say is like Shinji never knew her personally. I mean, that would make sense. And he's spouting all this nonsense about, you know, he said before that he's doing this all for Senri or whatever, but that doesn't make any sense, right?
だからそんなの嘘。私は千里と一緒にずっと過ごしてきたのよ。千里はあなたに会ったことなんてない。なのに復讐なんてありえない。
バカなこと言うなよ。俺は千里を愛してたんだ。だから千里のために。
I could tell that Ito's body was starting to shake underneath me. His teeth were chattering as if he was afraid of something.
それも全部デタラメよ。千里はあなたなんて絶対に知らない。だからあなたが千里を愛しているはずがない。
Ito flailed about, foamy bubbles were pouring from his mouth. His bloodshot eyes had rolled up into his head, and they were so swollen that they looked like they might burst out of their sockets. And... Suddenly, blood started to pour out of both his eyes. Yeah. Well, I'm thinking like, what does it say? Okay, so like... Bloodshot eyes brought up to his head. Oh, okay, it's talking about his eyes. I was thinking like, is his head swollen? Because of all the victims we've seen, they'd had like swollen parts of their brain. Maybe that's an indication. I mean, I don't know how it works for like actual brains, but maybe that's an indication of someone transplanting false memories into someone, and that's how they're controlling him, right? So someone transplanted his desire for Senri and also his revenge and everything onto his brain. And sometimes it causes a side effect where, you know, he's bleeding from his eyes and everything. That's like a common symptom of all the victims, and also Takuru as well. That happened to him. I don't know, maybe something like that. That's what I'm guessing is what happening. Was what happening. It's not like direct mind control, but more so like this kind of like, you know, false memories kind of thing. But anyway, suddenly blood started to pour out of both his eyes. Yes, he's very bloody. It wasn't Yui's. It was very clearly his own. When I recoiled, he crawled out from under me and then crawled up on the ground. He grabbed his head with his hands and started to spasm and flail about. Ito tore at his head and finally started to bang it against the ground. Kurusa and I grabbed him to try to stop him. His forehead had split open and the blood coming out of it mixed with the blood coming out of his eyes. It was impossible to even tell what he looked like now. But he shook us off and started to jerk and flail some more. He's going around in circles. Yep, definitely someone has been doing something to his brain. Ito was shouting loudly, but he wasn't making any sense. It was as if what Kurusu had said was right and someone was controlling his brain. Very funny. What a funny joke. Suddenly Ito's laughter cut off and he froze like a toy whose batteries had run out, and all the strength drained from his body and he collapsed. Kurusa and I together couldn't support the full weight of an unconscious human, so we all fell to the ground. Oh, what a mess. Neither of us could move for a while. We just lay there holding Ito between us. And I imagine the crime scene is just a big giant mess. This is gonna confuse Shinjo, but and staring at the bloody boxes that held our sister. Kurusu started to cry like a little girl. I don't know why. I don't know. For some reason, I started to cry like a little girl, as if this is like an insult? I don't know, anyway. It's a weird sentence. It's like, what a wuss. She's crying like a little girl. I don't know, anyway. But there's nothing I could say to her. Because I felt like I was gonna cry too, like a little girl, apparently. And it was all I could do to stop myself. Good voice acting, by the way. I always love Japanese voice actors. They go the full mile. I don't know. I could hear many footsteps in the distance. It was either Shinjo and the police, or maybe the reporters around Alba dorm.
もしマスコミならこんな姿のゆいを笑いでやってくお願いだからお願いだ
Yep, pictures. I closed my eyes tight. I didn't want to see anything else. I didn't want to hear anything else. Now it's gonna be all over the
ダ
internet.
メだよタクル兄のの姉って本当はまだ子供なんだからタクル兄が支えてあげなくっちゃね
Was it her ghost, maybe? Her forced ghost? I could see Yui smiling gently when I closed my eyes. Chapter 9, Duel, where entangled intentions gather. Alright. Well, 4 days after Yui's death, it's not over yet. The autopsy, the police interviews, all of that came to an end, and Yui's body was sent for cremation. I guess we're not having an open coffin funeral. Anyway, her soul became thin, pure white smoke and soared up to the heavens. Kurusa and I stood between the trees of the funeral home and watched it rise.
今の火葬場ってさフィルターとか通してクリーンな煙しか出さないんだってな
Really? Clean smoke? I never heard of that actually. And also, well, in as far as I know, a lot of like Eastern cultures and including Japan, you know, cremation tends to be more, how do you say? It's more common. That's what I'm trying to say. So I guess that's the thing to think about. Very efficient, I guess. I'd say something that didn't matter, and Kurusu would only half listen. We'd been doing that for a while now. Dad was probably in the room where the family waited for the cremation to finish, holding Yuto in his strong arms the whole time. Uki, Seraka, Haremura, and Kazuki were probably watching, but they couldn't do anything.
不思議ね。あんなに悲しくて涙が止まらなかったのに、今はもう平気なの。お葬式の費用のこととか、お墓をどうしようとか、そんなこと普通に考えてる。私ってきっと薄情なんだわ。
Oh, I mean, it's a common thing. When someone dies, you gotta like do the funeral thing and everything. It's a moment for grieving, and it costs money. Even as she spoke, she looked thin and frail from her suffering, but there was a light, like gray flame in her eyes. It's actually pretty fucked up, actually, you know? The whole fact that you have to, like, pay all this money for the proceedings. I mean, it depends, but, you know, it tends to be, like, for example, like buying the coffin or whatever. That tends to be its own kind of business, and the people in charge of that tend to, like, oversell you, like, as if they're selling a car, but anyway. I'd never seen her look like that before.
いやクルス以外にそういうのを仕切れる人がいないからだよ父さんも気が抜けたみたいになっちゃってるし
そうかな。
そうだよ
Besides, I'd already heard the muffled sobbing that came from Kurusu's room late at night. After that, I moved back to Alba dorm from the RV. Kurusu, Yuto, Uki, and Dad, all of them were shocked and saddened by Yui's death. If I were to leave them too, I couldn't bear the idea of a lonely Alba dorm without me or Yui. And when I was alone, I found myself remembering Yui, and I felt like I was going to go crazy. So I wanted to be with someone I could share my sorrows with. I was about to learn that this was what the family I tried to abandon was for, but for now, my head was full of thoughts of finding the person who'd done this to Yui.
Takuru.
I wonder what happened to Shinji. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain to the police, you know, that he was being controlled by some psychic, you know, killer or whatever. I don't know. And also, he has to come to terms with the fact that he did kill a little girl. Like, not like he didn't even have control of his body. It was just like, you know, someone was doing it for him or something. I don't know.
葬儀が終わったら少し休むといいわ。あなたひどい顔してる。
それはお互い様だ。お前だってちゃんと休んでないだろ。
だって夜眠れないんだもの。恐ろしい夢ばかり見てしまって、何回も飛び起きて。ね。
Kurisu tightened her hands into small fists.
一晩だけでいいから、今度タクルの部屋で寝ちゃダメかな。
え？
Of course not. I wanted to refuse instantly, but she looked so tired and kept telling me that she couldn't sleep by herself. I had no choice but to silently nod. When nothing was left of Yui but tiny white fragments, we used chopsticks to move her to the urn. Only after she lost most of her weight and fit inside the tiny urn did she finally attain a normal death. That was one weight off of my shoulders. I didn't want her to stay in that horrible state forever. Yuto was shaking the whole time he moved his sister's bones into the urn. I don't have any experience with cremation. I'm used to, like, you know, coffin funerals or whatever. So like I don't know what the process for that, but like using chopsticks to move bones into an urn, I guess that's a thing. Anyway, but his eyes were empty, looking at nothing, and he wasn't screaming or crying. While Yui's classmates and teachers sobbed, he did his work mechanically, with shaking hands. When it was done, he turned his empty eyes once more on what was left of his sister. Now life's gonna suck for Yuto.
ユウト、僕が必ず本当の犯人を見つけ出してやるからな。約束する。
Well, that's not gonna bring back his sister, but oh well. But he said nothing back. The funeral ended without incident. Uki and Dad took Yuto back home by taxi. Kurisu and I said our goodbyes to Saraka, Adamura, and Kazuki, then headed for home. We were walking slowly.
ユウト、大丈夫かな。
クルスや父さんもいるし、何より山添がずっとそばについてるから。
The loss of Yuto's sister had brought back his PTSD to the point where he was just as bad as he's been after the earthquake. He'd mostly lost the ability to speak. He'd become extremely afraid of the dark, and sometimes he would go into convulsions. He'd be given special permission to leave the house to attend Yui's funeral, but normally he wasn't even allowed to sleep in his room. Dad had decided to put him up in a room in Alba Clinic.
不思議な巡り合わせだな。
It was Yamazoi Uki who was doing everything she could to take care of him. It seemed like the reason we saved her and brought her to Alba Dorm was so that she, Yui's old friend, could take care of him in his hour of need. When I told her that, Kurisu looked sad. It's just a coincidence, was all she said.
ね、タクル。そのウキちゃんのことだけど。
ん？
よかったらでいいんだけどね。そろそろ名前で呼んであげてくれないかな。
I felt that pain in the back of my chest again. Around 6 months ago, I switched from calling her Nono to Kurisu. Looking back, the reason was so stupid, just thinking about it made me mad. But part of me was stubborn, and part of me felt just a little too embarrassed, so I missed the chance to switch back. I knew that sometimes it made Kurisu sad.
僕は別に構わないけど、山添はそれでいいのか？
実はウキちゃんがね、そう言ってたの。 みんなに名前で呼んでもらって嬉しいって。なんだかうちの家族になれたみたいだって。でもウキちゃんには家族みたいじゃなくて本当の家族になってほしいなって、そう思うからね。
Kurisu smiled, probably for the first time today.
わかった。山添じゃなくてウキな。了解。
ありがとう。彼女にも言っておくわ。タクルのこと名前で呼んでいいって。
Again, more significant in, I mean, it's probably exaggerated in anime, but like, it's more significant to call someone by their first name in Japan. Indicates familiarity or like closeness. You only say it to your like close friends or whatever,
あと
or family.
それだったらさ。
Then can I start calling you No again? Just as I was about to ask.
宮代君、クルスさん。
Shinjo, what's up?
はい。
We suddenly heard a voice and turned around. Shinjo was standing there. He must have felt responsible for what happened, because there was no sign of his usual vitality. He mostly stared at the ground.
すまない。葬儀に出ようと思ってたんだが、間に合わなかったみたいだね。
そんな、気を使わなくていいですよ。お仕事相変わらず忙しいんでしょ？
今日は病院での検査に思ったより時間がかかってしまって。
検査？
伊藤君のだよ。
Yeah, I was wondering, did you find a lump in his brain? The silence that had developed between Kurisu and I shattered in an instant.
意識が戻ったんですか？
合わせてください。お願いします。
Okay, so he was, okay. Well, it's been a few days actually, so was he in a coma this whole time? But Shinjo shook his head.
いや、依然、昏睡状態のままだ。
そうですか。
でも、脳の検査結果は予想通りだったよ。
肥大化が？
ああ、大脳新皮質が異常に大きくなっている。久野里さんの見立てだと、これまでに見たどんな患者よりひどいそうだ。それだけ長期間にわたって、しかも強力な思考誘導を受けていたんだろうと久野里さんは言っている。
Mind control? I mean, is it just mind control? I don't know.
じゃあ
Again, my theory is that
は無実ということになりますよね。
someone has this power and they're using it to supplant memories into people's brains, It's also, well, is he innocent? It's kind of hard to, like, again, explain to the police. How are you going to explain that to the judge? I don't know. I didn't want to think that my best friend had killed Yui of his own free will. I wanted to believe that he was someone's puppet, like Kurisu had said.
君たちの言うように彼の後ろには誰かがいるはずだ。少なくとも俺はそう思
う。But there was hesitation in his voice.
ただ実行犯が伊藤君であることに変わりはない。君たちや俺や久野里さんなら思考誘導がいかに強力なものか理解できるし、伊藤君には罪がないと言い切れるが、他の捜査員や検察、それに裁判所はそうはいかない。無論世間もだ。もちろんクルスさんの証言をもとに彼が洗脳のようなものを受けていたという線で捜査を進めているが、捜査員はみんな混乱してしまっている。とにかく不可解な点が多い上に裏付けすら取りようのないことばかりだ。すべてが常識の範疇を超えている。かといってギガロマニアックスだの超能力だの、そんな話をするわけにもいかないだろう。
Yeah, let's just go. Hello, Your Honor. You see, there's these people called Gigglomaniacs, and they use magic powers to affect the reality of our world. I don't know. It's not a very good argument. Shinjo bit the corner of his lip.
そのせいもあって、今の捜査方針に疑問を抱き始めている連中が増えてきた。伊藤君に不利な証拠もいろいろと出てきてしまっていてね。
どういうことですか、それ。
例えば、なくしたはずの君のスマホから伊藤君のスマホに脅迫まがいの無言電話があったろ。
はい。
Wait, was that Ito? But how?
単純なトリックだった。彼のスマホに偽の着信と電話番号を表示するアプリがインストールしてあって、宮代くんの名前と電話番号が登録されていたよ。
Oh, he just pranked us? That's it? Well, actually, when I'm thinking about phones, you know those like transitions sometimes we see Amy and everything? Was it Amy controlling Ito this whole time? Was those phone conversations, was she talking to Ito, you know?
Huh?
So that was it. Oh, why didn't I realize that? I know there was a freeware app that could do that. I remember hearing how you were supposed to use it to end conversations with people you didn't want to talk to or get out of meetings. Yeah, I think it's actually, I don't know, I think I heard about that. That's actually a thing. Where you like pretend that someone's calling you, you know, or whatever.
あと、彼のパソコンから妙なチャットの履歴が見つかってね。
チャット？
君たち、エド・ルーカスって名前に聞き覚えはないか？
Yeah, Amy, Ed Lucas.
エド・ルーカス。
I don't remember, well, I feel like the names for these ones are always different, but... Or, I don't really remember. I think they're just generic names. Test images, suspected, kitty mouse, suggest, and target. There's no idea with no my identity, close enough to kill Miyashiro Takuru at any time.
誰です、それ。
Both Kurusa and I look confused. Neither of us had heard that name before.
それじゃあ、アミーちゃんは？
Yeah, Ami-chan.
あ、それなら。
都市伝説の。
That was the character I snuck into AH Tokyo General Hospital to find when I was a kid.
いや、そのアミーちゃんじゃない。伊藤君のパソコンを調べたら、そういうハンドルネームの2人が頻繁にチャットを行っていたんだ。エド・ルーカスというのが伊藤君だ。
There you go. This is confirmed. I don't really remember. Was every time the phone came up, was it always Ed Lucas or was it something else? I feel like it was a different name sometimes, but maybe I don't really remember it quite all that well. But yeah, it was his phone, or not his phone, but rather
宮代君を監視しているような内容ばかり。
his chat log. Yeah, makes
犯
sense.
行動機として十分すぎるくらいのね。
そんな。
でも、そのチャット相手を操作すれば、真犯人の手がかりに。
But Shinjo balled his hands into fists.
もちろん、サイバー犯罪対策課に調べさせたよ。
Cyber Crimes Division.
その結果、アミーちゃんは存在しなかった。
は？
どういうことですか？
Was he just talking to himself? Like a crazy person?
アミーちゃんの正体も伊藤君だったんだ。彼は一人でチャットもどきをしていた。
そんなバカな。
どうして？
これは久野里さんの説だが、伊藤君の心は長期にわたる思考誘導のせいですでに壊れていたんじゃないかと。だが法廷で思考誘導という能力の存在が認められない以上、非常にまずい証拠になる。犯人しか知り得ない情報が含まれているんだ。
A new rage was building up within me. Whoever did that to Yui had also put Ito's mind under so much stress that it shattered. I kicked a small rock at my feet. The rock collided with a nearby wall and split in two.
新庄さん、このままだと人はどうなるんですか？その、
He'd probably be sent
法律的に。
to like a mental hospital or something.
まだわからない。未成年とはいえ、事件が事件だけに。
でも真犯人が逮捕されれば別ですよね。そうすれば伊藤の罪だって軽く。
ダメだ。君は自分の身を守ることだけ考えろ。犯人なら俺が探す。
Oh, death life for Shinjo. Shinjo must have realized what I was trying to say because he cut me off.
犯人を探すって、一体どこをどう探すつもりなんですか？それに犯人が分かっても、気軽マニアックス相手に新庄さんに何ができるんです？
I'll use a gun. Yeah, don't just shoot them.
これまで結局何もできてないじゃないですか。そんなだから言うや伊藤は。
Well, that's a bit rude to Shinjo. Shinjo has been trying his best. You know, don't yell at Shinjo. Now, if this wasn't fair. I knew it wasn't fair, but I was so frustrated and angry that I couldn't stop myself.
タクル。新庄さんは一生懸命やってくれてる。責めるのは違うわ。
I looked at Shinjo's face and looked away. He had the same pained look on his face that we had a moment ago.
すみません。つい。
いや、君の言う通りだ。俺は君たちにどう謝罪していいのか、未だにわからない。けれど、頼むから、命を危険にさらすような真似はしないでくれ。特に宮代くん、11月4日に何かしようと考えているのなら。
11月4日？
ニュージェネレーションの狂気、最後の事件の日ですよね。となれば、その日に真犯人は必ず動く。
Shinjo's expression became even more pained.
だから、宮代くん。ダメか。
He must have seen how strong my resolve was because he turned toward Kurusu.
クルスさん。
はい。
どうやら俺から頼んでも無駄らしい。宮代くんがおかしなことをしないよう見張っててくれないか。俺はこれ以上犠牲者を出したくない。
Kurusu quietly nodded.
わかりました。11月4日が過ぎるまで、タクルには危険なことをさせないよう注意しておきます。
クルス。
Something seemed strange about what she said, so I turned to look. But she already bowed to Shinjo and started walking toward Alba dorm. No. Latest victim chopped up and put into tiny little boxes. Too much even for me. So it's not a fictional young girl. Okay, that's the name of the killing, I guess. That's from the law Tokyo passed banning depictions of sex between fictional youths in anime and manga, right? Well, that was like 5 or 6 years ago. Does anyone even remember it? Wait a minute. Did they do that actually? Actually, I don't know. Anyway, it's like a real law. I'm thinking. Anyway, it's better than well done for a chick who got burned to death. How about fictional underage girl? That makes it sound extra sexy. Oh my god. Little Yui, the underage girl. So hot. Ah yes, so this is the at-chan I know. This is the at-channel I know. Much hotter than the guy from Guts and Death and the crazy old lady from Well Done. I guess Well Done is the I guess the what's her name again? I kind of forgot actually. I know Senri's name, but what was her like real name? I guess like she's not Senri, she's Haida, right? Haida Riko, was it? Rico, something like that. I guess that's her name. Officer is a pervert. Anyways, the killer's not supposed to get caught. What will you do on level 4? Why don't you do it yourself? Go make fictional young girl number 2. The police have been notified. You gotta play too many H games. Underage girl. I wonder if that's probably like some kind of slang probably in Japanese that I don't know. Anyway.
叫んなよこいつら。